Hello and welcome back to round 2 of the Legends and Minions tournament, where the Legends are trying to command, well, some minions, and it's kind of working, kind of not. Everything's falling apart a little bit, but we've got another game here on Rigor Highlands. We have got Blodir taking on Turinturambar. So we're going to find out which one of those two heavyweights is going to come out on top. We're not going to beat around the bush. We're going to get straight into the action because all of us here on stream have been waiting for some more to happen. Let's go. And here we go. So we have got Turinturambar versus Blodir. So it looks like Blodir is up in the top. We have got Turinturambar down in the bottom there. So we have got GFY Pony. He is going to go Aeon. So that is making a lot of sense for the air player. He is going to make his mark on the skies with those swift winds, and maybe even something a little bit further, depending on how long this game goes. He's going to throw down a first land factory to get some engineers up and running. Then he's going to go for, well, power generators surrounding his mexes. So he's going to use the adjacency bonus to make the upgrades a little bit cheaper. We have got What a Noob. He is going to go Aeon as well, so that's going to be a bunch of Aurora spam from him. He's going to throw down his core mexes and then get to work on that Hydro pretty quickly. Well, maybe not so quickly. There we go. What a Noob is going to start his Hydro and assist with the ACU to get that up and running. And finally for Blodir, we have got Photonic. He's going to get his Hydro up and running pretty quickly. 2 engineers and the ACU on that one. We're going to see a little bit of a rush towards the center here, where there's a bit of mass to pick up, and it looks like, well, so far only scouts going out towards the center, and the first scout's coming out from Pacos on the side of the map. He is also rushing his Hydro. He'll have that done in just a moment, then he'll be able to start spamming his UEF units out towards Blodir's team. Alright, Hershey is starting in this position here, and Hershey is actually going to move straight across to take this expansion with his ACU, which does mean that he's potentially leaving Pacos out to dry if there is a double ACU push into the center here. We'll see what happens with that one, but he is Aeon. He's already got 1 land factory working on a second, and that's going to give him a bit of Aurora spam as well. And then finally, we have got Ish in the air position up the top here. He is going to try and produce as much as he can with the Cybran technology. So interestingly, not going for Aeon. That is maybe not the best choice here, because we've seen the difference that the Swift Winds make in this particular format. Those guys can be absolutely lethal, and then those Mercies that he does not have access to have also claimed a few scalps already. Yeah, having a first little bit of an engagement here in the center. It is a Striker versus a Mantis that is keeping everything busy while this engineer comes in and scoops up all of that mass. That is a nice pickup there for Photonic. That's an extra 500 or so mass into his coffers that Pacos is missing out on. We've got a little bit of expansion up towards this way. We're going to try and grab that wreck. There's quite a decent chunk of mass, and it's definitely worth picking up. But it looks like Hershey is maybe going to be pushing a little bit more around the outside left of the map, I should say, and not really assisting too much in the center. Whereas we're starting to see that What a Noob is assisting. We've got those Auroras rolling on in to aid Photonic's ACU. That's going to make it a little bit hard for Pacos to hold the center there. We do have the ACU in position now from Hershey. He is going to be able to grab those core mixes. There's another set here as well, because the ACU from the Pro started in one of these positions. These adaptive maps only spawn mixes for people and for any other ones that you choose. They've obviously opted for one extra set here, plus they get an extra set for where the Pro spawn, but unfortunately that's going to be a little bit unavailable. Well, actually not really too unavailable, well, to engineers at least, because there are a couple of Mantis waiting for him. If the ACU happens to wander over from Hershey, they will be able to clear the zone, no problem. But if he sends engineers from that factory, that could be a problem. But what looks to be more of a problem is the center here, where the northern team is making some pretty big inroads. This is not looking at all good for Because there is an ACU just outside his doorstep. There is a whole lot of Tech 1 spam as well to back it up, and nothing really to answer it. He did put down a Tech 1 point defense just to try and keep everything out of his base, but it's not a good start if you're needing to build your own PD on your doorstep just to try and keep the enemy out. The ACU is on upgrade, but I'm not sure these guys have got quite enough resource to get that done just yet. He is actually stalling on mass reasonably hard, which is a big problem because these factories here are not going to be running at full capacity. They're not going to be able to spam a lot, plus this upgrade is going to take forever. It's not really a good situation, because probably needing to wait a little bit longer before starting that upgrade to make sure that he could do it seamlessly. Hershey is starting to make some nice gains up the top here. He's getting a lot of tanks up into what is going to be just engineers at this stage. Oh, there is an ACU from Waternoop, so that will be able to assist. Maybe taking out a few engineers from Deponi, but certainly will not be able to make a huge difference with the ACU on hand. Photonic's ACU making a dent in the T1 army here from Because still just desperately trying to get that upgrade finished. There's still only 2/3 complete. It's going to be a little bit longer. Which upgrade is that? Let's just see if we can see. That is the gun upgrade. If he can get that done, that will be very, very handy at dealing to Photonic's ACU. He's got the tank of the UEF ACU with the double damage of the gun upgrade. Photonic will need to back on up if that starts to happen. And of course, if he's got enough energy to power his overcharge, if you can keep that overcharge cannon running, these T1 army, well, they'll evaporate under that gun. Unfortunately for Because, he's going to lose that point defense before he can do anything really with it, because Medusas that are rolled up, that is a big problem. He's now starting to get a little bit of aid from Hershey, who so far has funneled everything across around the outside and nothing up the center. But that's all leaving Because in a very precarious position. He has finished his upgrade. Finally, he's got that thing done and is going to start rolling in and doing a lot of damage. It might be enough to push it back, and it may even leave a whole stack of reclaim on his doorstep, which will be a very handy thing indeed to start boosting his numbers. Let's check on his eco now that he's finished that upgrade. Wow, he's still stalling quite hard, not quite enough mass to run all 4 of those factories. Because looking to be fairly aggressive with the ACU, he needs to try and undo those gains. He's going to sit back and pelt that point defense. Unfortunately, the point defense is doing a bit of damage to his strikers, but there we go, it is down now, so that ACU gun paying for itself in terms of damage dealt. There are a lot of Mantis here though. I would be a little bit worried, and Photonic is grabbing the gun upgrade as well, so if that gets completed before Because can do a lot of damage, that's going to be a little bit tough. He's got a lot of Mantis to deal with, plus a gun upgraded Cyber and ACU. That will be difficult. He's going to lay down a little bit of damage right now before Photonic can shoot back. He's already ripped away over 1,000 HP, but he's going to have to back on up because those Mantis, they're going to be very, very problematic. We need to get a whole lot of T1 in to support that ACU, or he is going to go down. But it looks like he is backing up far enough. Photonic is buying enough time with his Mantis to finish that gun upgrade. But these Auroras doing a lot of damage. The extra range on those guys, the extra range on this gun upgrade, they are absolutely ripping through the Mantis. Photonic has lost a lot of his T1 army in that maneuver. It is giving him that gun upgrade to be completed, but was it worth it? He sacrificed a lot of Mantis. Perhaps just moving back a little bit before upgrading could have saved him all of that trouble. Because his ACU is on 1 star of veterancy on 39 kills, just one more needed. There we go, 2 stars. He's up to 14k HP when he's maxed out. We've got 2 ACUs here. Hershey got a gun upgrade. Well, I'm not sure what he has. The Aeon ACU can be very lethal with the double gun upgrade, but I don't think Hershey has had the time or the resources to get that thing completed. He does, however, probably have overcharge. Let's just check with him. He has 19k storage, so he's got plenty of overcharge, but only 300 surplus power, so it's going to take quite some time to recharge, because he is going to sit there banging away at those auroras that are coming towards him. The gun on that UEF ACU doing a fantastic job of warding away those auroras. So it's starting to shift to a slight advantage to the southern team in terms of raw firepower in the center here, with both of these ACUs plus the T1 units streaming in. Photonic down to only 5k HP. He's going to have to be a little bit more careful with that ACU. He's going to not want to die early on. If he does that, that will leave Watanoob very, very exposed to a push up from here. So the question is going to be, what will happen with the air? In the previous games, we saw that shift up to Tech 2 Air with the Aeon Tech and Mercies absolutely deciding the game. Are we going to see the same thing here? Well, we don't have the option down here from Ish. It's going to have to be Corsairs for him, but we do have the option up there with Toponi. Because just hovering in the center here, well, I'm not quite sure what he's doing. He would be better off to do some reclaim rather than just wandering around with that ACU. He really should try and pick some of those up. He should get a factory with an attack move out to the front here. Look at all of that reclaim that he could be picking up. He wants a bunch of engineers. Hershey is on the ball. He has got a bunch of engineers up in the mix. They are going to be grabbing a lot of reclaim, but because not really taking advantage of it, he's just using his ACU as brute force right now. Okay, he is going to come on to Photonic's ACU, who is under repair from those engineers. He's still only on 4,700 HP, looking pretty dangerous there. And Hershey bringing in his ACU as well. Is that additional range on that ACU? Let's have a look at what he's got. Did he manage to get either of those upgrades? Yes, he's got the double gun. So that is a very nice move from him. So now we've got 2 gun commanders in the center here. From the south team, we've got just a single Cybran ACU with gun upgrade from Photonic up there. Where is Watanoob's ACU? He really needs to be on the game a little bit more. He is up here. He's on upgrade. He is joining the gun party. He is, well, actually he's gone for T2. Interesting, and stealth is going to be the order of the day for Photonic, but that's not going to help when there is constant air coverage from the other team giving them vision. So Pacos is on the warpath. Look at that, 16,800 max HP. He is looking like a very, very dangerous UEF ACU. I don't see much of an option for Photonic to get out of this. Hershey, he's taking quite a lot of damage. He's only 12k max HP. He needs some more veterancy to get that boost up, but he has got that extra gun range that is pretty dangerous. He can also overcharge at that range. As long as he keeps his power flow going, he can just take out big squads of Tech 1 units very, very quickly. We've now got a Jester on the field from Ish. Well, actually, multiple Jesters. They're going to come in and finish off Photonic. That is going to be a Jester snipe for the win. Photonic down to 100 HP. That is the end of him, and that means that there are now 2 gun upgraded ACUs here. We've got Watanoob, who's going to grab T2. He's got 1 Oblivion turret so far. He's putting down some Tech 1 point defense. Oblivion turrets are kind of slow though. They're reasonably easy to dodge if the ACUs just weave in and out on their way up to the point defense. They're not going to have too much trouble dealing to it, and a couple of overcharges, well, we're just going to see regular fire. A couple of overcharges would get rid of that cannon pretty quickly. So now Watanoob is finding himself in very, very dire circumstances. He's got 2 ACUs bearing down on him. Just a few Tech 1 point defense to try and keep him alive. He's spamming those things as fast as he can. But the Tech 1 spam coming up from these guys is just unbearable at this point. He's down to 7k HP, continuing to take fire from those ACUs. 4,000. He is not going to last long at all. A nice overcharge coming in to take away a big chunk of HP, down to 2k. Waternoop has absolutely given up at this point. A ping goes down from the Pro to try and get those Tech 1 units in to make a difference, but no difference can be made, and Waternoop goes down. So this is looking like it is going to be a pretty quick game. We are just sitting on Depony left in this match. He hasn't made that shift to Tech 2. Oh yes, he has. There is a Tech 2 factory up there. What is he going to pump out of it? It looks like gunships are going to be the approach, but I don't think he can compete with the air power coming out from Ish. So Ish, despite not having access to Mercies, not having the Aeon tech, he is going to take out the day in air. It looks like that is going to be the end of that. We'll just speed this one up and we'll just talk about it while this game just finishes up. So, well, actually, interestingly, that massive wad of Tech 1 spam can't get up onto the ridge, so it's all completely useless. They're going to have to either transport them or use air power to take out Depony's ACU. So I feel like this is probably going to stretch out a little bit longer. What is the replay time in the vault? Let me just switch over to the client and have a look. It says 26 minutes, so we've got another 12 minutes or so of Depony holding out as best as he can. He's not going to be able to get a snipe on though, because there's just far too much. Corsairs are going to be it, I think, from Ish. We see one Corsair so far. Ish still maintaining power in the air, but a reasonable vector of attack with a string of Corsairs should be able to take Depony out in a single go. Actually, it looks like he was just stopping at one Corsair. No, there's another one there. So one of the factories I suggest is probably on Corsair production. Back here. Yeah, that's the one. So he's going to produce Corsairs. It's going to take a few minutes, and that'll just wind it down. Although there is a decent gunship snipe there. Unfortunately, Hershey and Ish both have good air forces right now. Those gunships are just going to have to retreat. There's no way they can get out there and do any damage. Although Hershey accidentally, badly loses his entire air force to the static AA of Depony. So Depony just using those gunships as bait. But I don't think Ish will be quite so silly. Well, not... Oh, ow. He actually is being a little bit silly. He's flying right over the static AA in Depony's base, but he has enough to withstand it, and it is not a problem. So the static AA actually has been defeated now. Those have all dissipated. There is still a bunch back here that Depony is throwing down. What is it going to be? There is a commander drop, because accidentally dropping not on the plateau. So we now have a commander drop from both of Hershey and Picos, so bringing those gunned ACUs up to bear. Hershey, well, he's got the shield on board. He can just sit there and tank it. The ACU for Depony is dropping down pretty rapidly. Of course, we're at +5, so it's going to look extra fast. And that is the end of the game for Depony, trying to be a holdout, and it did not come to anything. Alright, and there we have that last game on Rigor Highlands for the Legends and Minions tournament. Well, that was fairly one-sided. It didn't last too long. The 26 minutes was a little bit of a trick. It was actually a 13-minute game, and then Depony holding out for 10 minutes trying not to die. Alright, I think that will be the end of this round. We'll move on to round 3.